Hi everybody, my name is Jens Larsen. In this video I'm going to go over 3 different arpeggios from the diminished scale, and I'm going to show you how you can use them on a dominant chord. And the 3 arpeggios that I'm going to talk about for once are not triads. Mostly when I'm talking about the diminished scale I'm talking about triads, but this time I thought I would take some other structures. The first one is actually one that I use a lot, and I also remember seeing a video from Scott Henderson where he talks about how that's his favorite arpeggio from the diminished scale. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar, about improvising over chord changes, checking out some interesting scales and arpeggios, then subscribe to my channel. If you want to make sure not to miss anything, then click the little bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. All the examples that I'm using in this video are on a C7 diminished, so C7 with a 13 and a flat 9 like this. And then I'm resolving that to an F major 7. So that means that the scale that I'm using is this diminished scale. So in this first example, I'm using the diminished major 7 arpeggio. So if we just look at what that is, B flat diminished arpeggio, I'm sure you know already, that would be this. And if you take the diminished 7, so in this case that's a G, and then replace that with the major 7, A, then you get this arpeggio. And that's also what I'm using in the line. I'm using 2 of them. First I'm using the one from G, and then later the one from B flat. So I start just with an encircling of the G, so A, F sharp, and then up the arpeggio, and then a small run down the scale, and then another encircling, this time of the B flat, and then that arpeggio, and then just 2 notes to resolve to the F major 7. A way to practice these diminished major 7 arpeggios is just to take them up in minor thirds so that you cover all the ones that are within the scale. And an exercise like that could be something like this. Another really useful structure to check out within the diminished scale is of course the dominant arpeggios, because we have 4 dominant arpeggios. We have in this case the one from C, the one from E flat, the one from G flat or F sharp, and then the one from A. That's what I'm using in this line as well. So I'm starting with an A7, and then I'm playing it in this pattern. And I'm actually doing exactly the same, just moving up to G flat or F sharp. And then ending with a small scale run to resolve to the 5th of F major 7. And of course, if you want to connect these different dominant arpeggios and check that out a bit, then you can take whatever area on the neck that you're working with diminished scale and then try and go through all of them in that position. That could be something like this. Another structure that I'm using really a lot when I'm working with diminished scale is this quartal arpeggio. So if we look at a C7 13, which is of course included in a diminished scale, then the top part of this is actually this quartal arpeggio from B flat, so B flat, E and A. Now this structure, of course you have it here, then you'll also have it all the other places fitting with the dominance in the scale. So that's something you can move around and work with as well. And that's what I'm doing in this line. So the first part of the line is just using the fact that we have this 3-note structure, and actually just moving this around will already be interesting enough, because we have these 3-note groupings that are sort of breaking up the rhythm in a nice way. So I start with that. Then when I'm up here on the one from D flat, I just go down the scale a bit, and then down this B flat diminished major 7 arpeggio, and then resolving that to the A on F major 7. So if you want to check these out and also work a little bit on your alternate picking, then you can play this exercise. When I'm improvising over a dominant using the diminished scale, then these 3 arpeggios is probably what I'm going to be using a lot, and I'm also going to combine it with a lot of the major triads especially, but also just other triadic ideas. I'm kind of curious what you use when you're working with the diminished scale. For me, it's a little bit a battle to try and avoid playing too obvious sort of repetitive figures and just have something that you can move around in minor thirds, because somehow that's a little bit easy and it gets a little bit boring to listen to. But that's of course also a question of taste. So I'm very curious how you approach this and how you work with improvising in the diminished scale. So leave a comment on that if you have something to add. I'm sure most of the people watching this video are interested, and I know for sure that I am. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar and this is the first time you watch one of my videos, then subscribe to my channel. The videos that I publish here every week are on finding some solid methods and good strategies to explore all the interesting things about jazz guitar and improvisation. If you like this video and you want to help me keep making videos, then check out my Patreon page. I'm very grateful for the support that I'm getting from patrons, and it's because of that that I can keep publishing videos every week. If you join us over on Patreon, I can also give you something in return for your support. That's about it for this week. Thank you for watching, and until next week.